Mark, what is the nicest thing a non-family member has ever done for you?
That's a great question, Phil. I've been blessed my whole life with people doing nice things for me, and I realize that not everybody has that blessing, and uh, it's difficult for me to choose just one thing because I think who I am today is the result of the kindness of everyone that I've interacted with my whole life. I couldn't be where I am today if I wasn't elevated by kindness. And I really value that so much. I try to be kind to everybody I meet as well because I realize that I'm going to touch them the same way that others have touched me in my life. So when I think back on the individuals that have been kind to me, that aside from my family was incredibly kind to me and continues to be incredibly kind to me. My wife, my children, we have a very kind relationship with each other. I think it's a value that we hold. Um, my first, uh, in many ways, my first teacher was an unlikely teacher, just an ordinary man in Spring Valley, New York, by the name of Ernie Landy, and he was a chiropractor. And he saw that I was interested in chiropractic when I was about 15 years old. And I was very interested in the work that he was doing. I was getting chiropractic care. And so he took me with him on a road trip. And we drove from New York to South Carolina to a great school of chiropractic medicine. And I met all of his friends. He introduced me to some of the luminaries in the field of chiropractic. And I got to spend a week with them, just studying with them, having breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them, and being inspired by the depth of their philosophy. That was the first time I ever heard of this idea of a connection between what's going on inside of us and the universe itself and our connection to the divine. They would use words like innate intelligence and universal intelligence. And I was deeply inspired. But Ernie Dr. Landy was very kind to me. He took care of that whole trip. He took me there. He took care of me while I was there. He paid for everything while I was traveling. And he and the people he introduced me to so deeply inspired me that I wanted to go into the healing arts. And I said, yeah, this is it. This is what I really want to do. I don't think that I would have started this direction in my life had I not met him. And another person who did something so kind for me, and I'm sorry, I just can't limit it to one person, is another unlikely man by the name of Arnie Cohen. And Arnie Cohen was my baseball coach in high school. And I was the captain of the varsity baseball team in high school. And, Arnie inspired me with his integrity. He taught me the importance of doing what you know to be true in your heart, even when you're under duress from the outside. He never yielded. He had to make all kinds of decisions running a baseball team, and there's all kinds of pressure on him from the school and from parents and so forth. And he was, maybe because I was the captain of the team, we had a lot of discussions, and they were teaching moments for me. He taught me all about integrity. And then I have such gratitude for the kindness of the students that I went to college with at the University of Buffalo in New York. I was rather radical. I still am by many measures politically. And I was involved in political demonstrations in college and in the University of Buffalo in 1982. And I was arrested falsely, I'll add, for trespassing. It was a political arrest. I was leading protests and they wanted me out of the way. The students of the college got together, and not only did they raise all the money for my legal fees and pay the attorneys, together they pressured the administration and they pressured the State University system of New York to back down and allow me back into the school. And that wouldn't have happened without tens of thousands of students being kind and recognizing that we were all in this together. And they taught me about the power of unity and generosity, because they were really generous with their heart and really generous with their spirit. I was so grateful. And like I said, I've been surrounded with kindness my whole life. Had I not been, who knows where I'd be today. I met a spiritual teacher by the name of the Reverend Roy Eugene Davis in the 1990s. And he's a beautiful, beautiful human being. He recently passed, a disciple of Paramahamsa Yogananda and the founder of the Center for Spiritual Awareness in Lakemont, Georgia. And meeting him was just, again, meeting an incredibly kind human being. Now, he can be kind to a lot of people, and he is kind to everybody that I think he knows. That's just the nature of who he is. I went to visit with him, and he was so kind to invite me to his home. He was so kind to come where I was staying at the ashram and do a personal initiation with me, something that he didn't do very often with people. And he came to my room, we did a personal initiation, we spent several hours together. And while that story in itself, that was a moment, the initiation itself, that spiritually transformed my own life. It was as though I died that day and was reborn the next day. It was a really, really, truly remarkable moment. I would also have to express incredible gratitude for the kindness of another unlikely teacher, although there probably are some people who do consider her to be one of their great inspirations. Her name is Donna Farhi. She's a yoga teacher, used to be the asana editor for Yoga Journal. And Donna was my yoga teacher back in 1994, right about that time. And she was so kind to introduce me to the Yoga Journal, who wound up publishing my writing about Ayurveda and yoga in the middle 90s, and writing about our school. And again, I don't think that the college or myself would be where we are today without her generosity and her support, her kindness, and just doing nice things. She had no reason to do that. I've been trying to think about who did nice things for me when they asked nothing in return, when they couldn't, when they weren't going to get anything in return. It was just a random act of kindness. And those individuals certainly passed that test. And then there's the Shivananda Yoga organization that I've been involved with for the last 20 years. And that organization and the people involved in that organization have been so kind to me and so kind to the college, just really doing everything they could to support me and to support the school, just through their hearts and their acts of generosity. And I have so much gratitude for all of them. I know that I couldn't be here without the kindness and generosity and support of others. And it's my great hope that through the course of my life, that my own actions will inspire other people similarly.